Hi, I'm Shayla.
I'm Athena.
And what is your name?
Clarence Love,
And where did you move here from?
Arkansas.
And how was that experience in Arkansas?
It was different. I was from a small town, population 3,201. It was segregated. The blacks lived on one side, the white lived on one side of the railroad track.
Were you ever interrogated by the police for being black?
Yes, we were stopped several times. You always get stopped, but I was never taken in for anything. But they just stop you and try to see what you're doing.
Oh, okay.
So what did you do during the Civil Rights Movement?
Well, when I was in fourth grade, from first grade through fourth grade, I was at an all-black school. Then we was integrated in fifth grade, and then the Black Panthers was supposed to be coming from Chicago. That's when the Black Panthers movement was coming, and so they let all the schools out because they feared there was going to be trouble between the blacks and the whites because the Black Panthers were supposed to be headed towards Arkansas.
Was there any failures during the Civil Rights Movement?
The biggest failure was when Dr. Martin Luther King and Malcolm X was assassinated. Those was failures because it set black people behind because there was no more leaders. Every race needs leaders, and now blacks have no leaders because they're afraid of retaliation or being assassinated.
Did you ever take part during the Civil Rights Movement?
No, I did not. I was young. I never took part in any civil rights movement.
Were there any racist comments made towards you throughout your life?
There's always been racist coming. I come from Arkansas, it's the South. And even when I got to California, I went down to Carlsbad, the state of Carlsbad, to rent a townhouse. And there was a lady and her husband, and there was a young child. And the young child asked me, well, rather than ask me, she told me, there's no blacks allowed in here. And I said, what? And then when the parents come in, she said the child had overheard the owners say that they didn't want blacks to rent the townhouses there. So not just in Arkansas, I feel that racism everywhere. It's covered up more in California, but there's racism still everywhere.
Did you ever get attacked?
No, I was never attacked. No.
What are your feelings on how people didn't want you to come into stores?
Well, if somebody don't want you to, they don't go. But I feel it's wrong for anybody to be told that they can't go anywhere because of their race. I feel America is supposed to be land of the free, and if you have the money to buy, they should be able to supply you with whatever you want.
What was the change like going into the Marines?
The Marines was very different. I had been to Detroit with my brothers, but I was still majorly within my own race. And once I got in the Marine Corps, I was around a whole lot of different races. And it was okay with me because even in Arkansas, I had my white friends, and they would come over and hang with me, and I had to go on their side, and they wouldn't let nobody mess with me. So I pretty much got along with everybody.
Okay, so what I'm trying to say is was the Marine people, were they bad to you at all?
Well,
Racism?
There is still racism because they have officers who come from the South, and coming from the South, they still hold grudges against different race of people. So it's just according to the person and where he's from, the way they look at you in your color. So racism everywhere. Marine Corps, Navy, Army, civilian world, it's everywhere.
You ever put down or said that you couldn't do something because of your skin color?
Well, one of my rooms that I had, we had a two dorm room in the Marine Corps, and I was placed in a room with another white guy. I forgot where he was from, but when I first got in, he called himself laying down the rules to me about cleanliness and the way blacks carry themselves. He wasn't going to have that in his room, and to take a shower and all of this. I looked at him like, man, that's the main thing. I'm always clean, and come to find out, I had to put him out the room. I had to take his key and put him out because he was very unclean, and he was sniffing butane and making racist comments. So I took his key and threw him out the room, and when the CO came, he said I did the right thing.
Okay. And how is San Diego different from Arkansas?
A lot of different race of people. Arkansas is majorly black, white. San Diego, there's all cultures of people. Filipino, Mexican, black, Chinese, Korean, and a lot of people, just more people. So people can hide easier than they can in the small towns. In the small towns, everybody knows you. and they can see the way you carry yourself. But in the bigger cities, you can hide, and you can hide your way you feel about a person because of their race. You can stay within your own ethnicity.
How old were you when you moved to San Diego?
I left home when I was 17. I went in the Marine Corps, and out of boot camp, I was stationed at North Carolina. And North Carolina was segregated pretty much too by tracks. And I knew I didn't want to stay there. And they was talking about sending me to Louisiana. And I didn't want to go back to the south of Louisiana. So when they came up with California, in January of 1980, I come to California, and I've been here since.
Were you ever like pulled over by the police?
Yes, several times here in Oceanside, just to be riding with two of your black friends. They make up excuses. One time I was told that because I had an incense hanging from my visor, and I've been told that you were swerving, and I said, well, I haven't been drinking. They just there's racism. People are going to pull you over just because you're riding black. They figure if 2 or 3 of you in the same car that you're doing something wrong.
Do you think that racism has gotten better or worse since Martin Luther King?
I feel that we have regressed as a people, and because we have no leaders, racism has become more public, and I feel that it's going backwards instead of forward. Yes, I think it's, even since we got the president, a black president, I feel that racism came out more, because now that's all you hear are black, white. You hear more police officers shooting the black people, black kids, and you hear their politicians even speak of their blacks and white. So yeah, I feel racism is getting worse now than it is better.
How do you feel about that? Do you feel anger, or do you just...
I don't feel angered. I just feel that we as a race, as black people, need to come together first, and we need to have leaders to research and teach us about politics and about ways of bettering ourselves so racism won't affect us.
Do you think, how is your feeling on black people now? Do you think that they're helping the situation or making it worse?
No, I feel that we are regressing because leadership, we need leadership, and people are afraid to become leaders because, like I said, retaliation. So until we get leaders, individuals would never accomplish anything. You got to have a team, you got to have a group, you got to have people in charge, and we're missing the leadership, the people in charge to help us.
Do you still believe that? We have an African American president, so do you still, how do you think we should, how do you think the African Americans should come together? We have the highest rank is an African American, so.
Even having a president, see, what people don't understand is the president makes no decisions. Without Congress, without the Republicans and the Democrats, no matter what decision he comes up with can be voted down in Congress. And he's tried to make several changes, and it always gets voted down. That's why now he's using the presidential power where he's not turning to Congress. He's making decisions on his own. And there's a lot of racist comments come out about the president. There's things that the white president did that they said was okay. Things that he do, they all go against him and say it was bad. So racism will always be here. I just feel that as a people, as a black people, if we come together and have better teaching, we can do better.
What are your thoughts on rappers being killed, like Tupac or Biggie Smalls?
Well, I don't know if that was racism or not. Rappers generally rap about gangster ways, and gangster ways usually end up either dead or in jail. So I don't think neither of those had anything to do with racism.
Okay. And then what big social changes have occurred since you moved to San Diego?
Socially, I was from a small town, so socially we didn't have places where we went out to dinner. We didn't have places, we didn't have the zoo, so socially, coming to California and having a family, I could get out more, see more, do more things with the family. So socially, I think it enlightened my mind about different things and different relations of people, different religions, different cultures.
And then what are your thoughts on 9/11?
Well, on 9/11, I was very angry. I was up that morning, I was in Atlanta, and when I saw the first airplane hit the tower, me and my sister was up and we thought maybe it was an accident. And when I saw the second plane hit the tower, we knew it wasn't an accident. We were saying, the United States was under attack. And I had gotten out of the Marine Corps, and I wanted to go back in the Marine Corps because I was mad because someone had attacked us on American soil.
Going back to when you lived in Arkansas, is there something like one specific event that happened in your life about like racism that really impacted you and stays with you till this day? Like,
No, it just was a separation, the dividing of people. I mean, I had people who wanted to be social but couldn't be social with me because they was afraid of what other people would say. So I think I lost friends and never got friends because they was always worried about what the other people of their race was going to say.
And then also, do you think that the civil rights movement impacted the whole world or just African Americans?
Well, anytime there's a divide in people, it affects everybody because as a nation, if we all came together, we could be strong. And when you divide the nation, well, there's a weakness.
And then, do you think that, do you think that the promise of equal rights is being fulfilled now?
No, it'll never be fulfilled. There'll always be racism, and like I said, now it's getting worse. But rather than coming together, people are separating.
Do you have any stories you want to tell us on back in Arkansas or the Marines that have anything?
No, not really. I pretty much tried to avoid the problems, and I pretty much get along with everybody. So I didn't have a whole lot of problems. There was other people who had worse problems than I did. Well, mainly because if you know you don't supposed to be somewhere, you don't go. And pretty much I knew where to go and where I should be. And I wasn't like a tourist who goes and just try to venture out. You got to know your place, and I tried to stay in my place.
Was anybody in your family ever in slavery or had anything to do with that?
No, we wasn't in slavery, but right after slavery, blacks had to sharecrop. And that's where you still stayed on the land and you had to work the land, but you didn't get paid. You were supposed to share the crops to eat and to live. And it never was fair because we were still given the worst of the crops, the worst of the food, and very little. So never slavery, but sharecrop. I done done everything on the farm that could be done. I done worked the fields, worked the rice field, chopped cotton, drove bean trucks, waded in water in the rice paddies, worked strawberry patches. You name it, pretty much. I've done it and was paid low wages. So that was one of the reasons I wanted to get out of the South and get out of Arkansas.
When you were younger, did you have to work during school time?
Yes, I did. After I got out of school, I went to work. Some days I had to miss school to go to work because the family needed money. We was like on the farm. We was poor. And my mom would rather me go to work some days than to go to school because the income that I made helped out in the family.
was there any family member or family friend that was killed because of racist white?
No, not in the family, but there was people that was found other places that was hung on power lines, on poles, but never within the family.
What did you think about the KKK?
Well, KKK have been around for a long time, and I feel just like they stopped the Black Panthers, every black movement that ever came about, they stopped. I feel if they wanted to stop the KKK, they could also do so, but people don't want to stop the KKK because it helps to keep the black people down.
And then you said that you picked cotton and worked with the strawberries. How did you feel doing that?
Well, at the time I didn't know no better, so I felt good making money, being able to help out at home. So you have to be seen or heard of something better. And when I was 16, I saw the commercial on the Marine Corps, and I called in, and they wrote me back and said I was too young. But on my 17th birthday, they showed up to the house, and I went down to Memphis, Tennessee, and I took the test. And as soon as I graduated, I was in the Marine Corps.
Okay. And then, do you think that your time would have been better spent at school, or do you think that working on the farm with your mother has improved your life?
No, education is the key to everything. I feel that I was a great basketball player. I should have went to college. I should have played basketball and got a degree, but I needed to help the family, so I had to choose another way, and I chose the Marine Corps. But now with my children, I make sure that they're educated. I try to make sure they get to the best schools. I don't tell them they have to work because education comes first. Education is something that no one can take from you. Once you get it, it's there forever.
Okay. And then, so what do you do now for a living?
Now I drive for Coca-Cola. I'm a driver delivery. I've been at Coca-Cola for 17 years. I have to provide for my family. I try to make sure my kids get a good education, make sure they always have something to eat, and they don't have to work. They can be educated.
And then, what jobs have you had, in the past?
Well, after the Marine Corps, I was a dairy driver. I delivered milk, and then I became a Coca-Cola driver. So I went from the Marines to milk to Coca-Cola.
Did you ever get paid less in those jobs because if you were African American, or did you?
No, when I first went to the milk company, the supervisor there was an ex-Marine, and Marines say simplify, always faithful. Marines always take care of Marines, and once he found out I was in the Marines, he told me that I had the job, and he told me that if I go to different stores and they don't want to accept the fact that I'm black, leave, come back, and we won't deliver that no more. So no, I had no problem there. My supervisor took care of me. And at Coca-Cola, no, there's no problem there.
Okay, so there's never been any conflicts at Coke?
No, I have no problem with Coca-Cola.
Okay, that's good.
We can.
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
Good job, Dad.
Okay, thank you guys for letting me express my vision on racism, slavery, and I hope it get better, but it doesn't seem that way. Like I said, people have to have leaders, and we as blacks need leaders. Thank you.
You're welcome. See ya.
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's it. Bye.
We don't need
We can edit out
we
this
need to
last
edit
part.
this. Do you think